Okay, so here's a Mosaic script that should help alleviate a little bit of pain. Koala has a MIDI mapping defaultly from bottom left pad to top right, so BLTR. And then some other software sequences or even hardware sequences might be top left, bottom right. So that can be a little bit annoying because this change has happened recently, but instead of having to go through and change all of your sequences for your external sequences, this script will translate between the different layouts for you. So if you route your sequences into this Mosaic script and then the output of this Mosaic script into Koala, your sequences should be exactly how you intended them to be. So the way that it works is I have an input channel for the knobs, which is on the left, and I've got an output channel for the knobs on the right. So for the input, you've got LRBT, you've got LRTB, LRBT, and RLTB. It actually just means here, and I've got it in the description here, left, right, bottom, top, left, right, top, bottom, etc. So I had to make this short so that you could actually see what the knobs were, because trying to put all of that in just gets truncated in Mosaic. So I'm going to use a left, right, bottom, top input at the moment as what's coming in, and then the output is going to be left, right, bottom, top. So the way that that will work in Koala is if you have a controller that is left, right, bottom, top, it is the pad layout, so it's exactly how this is. When you press the bottom left pad, it's going to trigger the bottom left pad in Koala. So you wouldn't have any problems, and this script is not for you. What this is for people who have a controller or a sequencer that is mapped differently to what they're trying to get it into. So Koala is left, right, bottom, top, and I'm going to use left, right, top, bottom because that's another pretty common layout for different controllers. So what I've done is I have set up TouchOSC here to just have that controller. So if I hit the top left pad, ideally what I would like to happen is for it to trigger the top left pad in Koala as well. So at the moment, it does that to see how wherever I'm hitting here in Koala, it's hitting the correct pad as well. So that's what we want to happen. But the issue could be, let's say that you've got a top to bottom, left to right controller, but you've got it set up differently. So it's left to right, bottom to top. Well, if I hit the top left now, it's hitting the bottom left. And so this is the issue that people were having with their controllers once Koala changed its layout. It's not a big issue. It's just something that needs to be configured. So now there's a way to do that. You just need to make sure that your input, which is whether it's software sequencer like Atom or Helium or hardware like a 4x4 pad controller, set up the layout of what that input is with this knob here. And there's 4 different ones, and the description has the 4 different layouts here for what it is. And then the offset is for the controller or the sequencer's actual MIDI offset. So if your controller starts, and we'll just use Koala here as the example, let's say your controller is laid out the exact same way that Koala is, and your very first note is the bottom left note. If it sends out a MIDI CC or note on, of 0, then your offset would be 0. But my MIDI fighter has an offset of 36. So in that case, what I do here is I go into the offset and I set it to 36. That's a little bit tedious to do, but we can get there. Okay, cool. And then the output is just whatever you want to, like if Koala has a different output. So you could have it as the offset of 0, go into Koala, go to your settings, go into MIDI, set the note offset, which is C-2, but you can also just put in the number 0 and that will show up as well. But for some reason, my keyboard does not want to do that, so I'll just type 0 there. And you'll see it turns it to C-2. But if you wanted that to be 36, just like the input is, you can set that up to be 36. 36. Go into the settings, change this to be 36. Hit OK. Show the GUI again. So now if I bring in TouchOSC, it is set up as a left to right, top to bottom. If I hit the top left, it isn't playing that. Oh, yeah, because the silly me, the offset of TouchOSC is 0. So now you can see that that's mapped how you want it to be. So yeah, hopefully this helps anybody who has had this problem with Koala. It works with any other 4x4 grid layout. but it will only work with 4x4 and 16 pads per bank. You can change that if you want to by going into the code and then updating. I'll just maximize this if I can. Yep, maximize. You can go into here and just change what the layout indices are. I've left comments for everything. The different layout modes are just indexed, 0 indexed, the number of layout modes that there are in total, and then the pads per bank. So if you go through and you update all of these to have additional layouts or more banks or less banks, more pads or less pads per bank, then it's quite easy for you to do that. You shouldn't have to mess with anything else down here because I've made it all configurable up the top. So if there's any bugs or problems, or you want to see something else for this because it's not solving your needs, just let me know, leave a comment, and yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy.